You spend an hour clearing the lawn. You scrape out the paving cracks. You bag everything up. 2 weeks later, the same spots are green again, sometimes worse than before. That hour was not wasted because you did a bad job. It was wasted because nobody told you what you were actually doing to your garden while you cleared it. If that is a pattern, you recognize this video is about why it keeps happening and what to do instead. Most people dealing with weeds are solving the wrong problem. They are removing what they can see and leaving everything that matters completely untouched. But there is something worse than that. In some cases, hand pulling is actively producing more weeds in the same spot while you think you are improving it. Every hour spent clearing, every bag filled, making the problem larger. The reason why is not obvious, and it changes how you approach every weed you deal with from this point on. This video covers lawn weeds, patio weeds, and the one prevention step that changes the situation permanently, rather than just seasonally. There is also one timing detail that most gardeners get completely backwards, and getting it wrong means a season of effort that delivers about half the result it should. Most people treat established perennial weeds in spring. That is the less effective window. The better window arrives months later, and the reason why becomes clear in part 1. Stay through to part 3. Because the reason weeds come back every single season is not the root fragments you missed. It is something in your soil that almost nobody talks about. And once you see it, years of failed attempts will suddenly make complete sense. How long have weeds been a recurring problem in your garden? 1 year, 5 years, more? Drop it in the comments. Welcome to Roots and Garden. Let us fix this. Part 1. Lawn weeds. Here is the situation most gardeners know well. You drive a weeder in beside a dandelion rosette, lever it up, pull the leaves away. Done. 2 weeks later, same spot, new growth, right back where it started. The obvious explanation is that you missed the root. Probably true. But it still does not explain the thing that makes this genuinely demoralizing. 3 new weeds appear in the area after you clear one. You did not plant those. You were not careless. The weeding itself produced them. And if that has been happening every season, the effort you put in has been working against you the whole time. We will come back to that. But first, the root problem, because that is real too. The taproot of a dandelion can extend 30 centimeters straight down into the soil. The tool pulled the top inch. The remaining root still has all its stored energy, still has its growing tip. A new rosette emerged from the fragment you left behind. So even a clean-looking removal, one that felt finished, left the plant fully intact underground. But that still does not explain the 3 new weeds appearing nearby. That requires a different explanation, and it is one of the more uncomfortable things to learn after years of clearing the same lawn. Here it is. When you pull a weed, you are not just removing a plant, you are planting the next row. Every garden soil contains dormant weed seeds sitting in the top few centimeters, sometimes millions of them per square meter. A single dandelion produces over 100 seeds per season. Those seeds survive being buried for years, waiting for one specific signal. Light. Buried seeds cannot germinate without access to light. The act of disturbing the soil's surface, every pull, every scrape, every well-intentioned clearance, exposes those dormant seeds to daylight. They germinate within days. The weeding that felt productive was seeding the next generation into exactly the cleared spots. That is the soil seed bank. It is the mechanism behind almost every frustrating weed recurrence in gardens. We will come back to it in part 3, because that is where it becomes the answer to everything. For now, what it means practically is this: how you treat a weed matters enormously, because lawn weeds fall into 3 categories. Treating all 3 the same way is the reason most approaches fail 2 out of 3 times, and most gardeners never find out which category they are fighting. Taproot perennials: dandelion, dock, thistle, plantain. These survive by storing enormous energy in a deep, thick taproot. The above-ground growth is expendable. Cut it, pull it, mow it, the root replaces it. Without exception. There are only 2 approaches that work: remove the entire root system or use a systemic herbicide that travels through the leaves down into the root. For individual plants, use a long-handled weeding tool that levers the full root, not a trowel, which cuts the root and leaves half behind. Water the soil first. Damp soil releases the root cleanly. After a proper full root extraction from damp soil, that spot stays empty. No regrowth in 2 weeks. No regrowth in a month. The job is done once. For larger areas, a selective broadleaf herbicide is the right tool. Selective means it targets broadleaf plants specifically while leaving grass completely unaffected. The active ingredient travels through the leaf surface into the root, killing the whole plant, including the 30 centimeters you cannot see. Now, when to apply. This is the detail that most gardeners get wrong for years without realizing it. Most apply in spring. It feels logical, weeds are visible, the season is starting, the frustration is fresh. And spring application does work, but it delivers about half the result of the better window. Because the better window exploits something the plant does to itself. In September and October, dandelions reverse their carbohydrate flow. Energy moves down from the leaves into the root for winter storage. Anything applied to the leaves during this window travels directly into the taproot with the flow. The plant pulls the herbicide into its own root system for you. Every spring treatment you have ever applied was going against the plant's biology. Autumn treatment goes with it. Treat in October. By the following May, the spots where dandelions previously reappeared every year stay clean. The grass closes over them. The cycle ends, spreading rhizomatous perennials, couchgrass, bindweed, ground elder. This is the category that punishes effort most visibly. These weeds spread by horizontal underground stems called rhizomes. When you grab the visible growth and pull, the rhizome breaks into fragments. Each fragment becomes a new growing point. You can pull this category of weed for an entire season and finish with more plants than you started. The harder you work, the worse it gets. For badly affected areas, a systemic herbicide applied to the leaf surface on a dry day travels through the entire root network and kills the plant. In mixed beds or lawn edges, apply with a brush or gel formulation directly to target leaves only, to avoid reaching adjacent grass. One rule worth remembering: do not dig or rotivate ground with rhizomatous weeds. Every cut rhizome is a new plant waiting to grow. Annuals, hairy bittercress, chickweed, groundsel, annual meadowgrass. This is the one category where hand-pulling works, but there is a window, and most gardeners miss it by about a week. Annual weeds complete their entire cycle in a single season. Germinate, grow, flower, drop thousands of seeds, die. Remove them before flowering and you break the cycle entirely. Remove them after and next year's infestation is already in the soil bank. Miss the groundsel before it flowers once. The following year you will find it across a much wider area. Catch it before it sets seed 2 years running, and the population drops noticeably. The difference between those two outcomes is often a few days. Which category are you dealing with? A taproot type, a spreading rhizomatous weed, or annuals from seed? Drop it below. Taproot weeds and annuals, at least, respond to the right approach. The patio is where most people discover a method that looks like it is working, and has never worked at all. Part 2. Paving and patio weeds. You clear the paving joints on a Saturday. By the following month, they are green again. Tiny plants in every crack, thicker in the spots you just cleared. Most people assume the roots survived below the paving. But that explanation does not hold up, because new plants appear even in joints that were completely scraped out. Clean to the base, nothing left. Here is what is actually happening, and it reframes the whole problem. Patio weeds are not growing up from underneath. They are growing down from above. Seeds land in the gaps, find accumulated soil and moisture, and establish from the top down. The roots you removed were never the source. New seeds are arriving constantly, which means clearing the paving without addressing what seeds land in is a job that repeats forever, by design. What works, and what only looks like it works? First, do not use selective broadleaf herbicide on paving. It is formulated for grass. On a hard surface, any liquid runs off and reaches whatever is nearby, lawn edges, borders, anything in its path. Boiling water. Here is the simplest method that actually works. Pour directly from a freshly boiled kettle straight into the gaps. The heat destroys plant cells on contact. Not just the foliage, but the root tissue below, because the water penetrates the joint and reaches the growing point. The weed does not come back from the same root. No product to buy, no chemical residue, no drift risk. Works immediately. The kettle is already in your kitchen. Treat the patio cracks with boiling water on a dry morning. 3 weeks later, The treated joints stay brown and dry. The weeds that regrew after every previous clearance do not return from the same spots. Vinegar, what it actually does. Vinegar has a reputation. It is recommended constantly, and it does produce a satisfying result very quickly, which is exactly why so many gardeners have wasted entire seasons on it. Household vinegar burns the surface of whatever leaf tissue it contacts. The weed looks dead within 24 hours, brown, wilted, finished. The root below the surface is completely unaffected. Within 3 to 4 weeks, the same weed regrows from the same root. Looking dead is not the same as being dead. Vinegar does not kill paving weeds, it trims them. And every gardener who has been using it as their main treatment has been doing the same clearance job on a 4-week cycle indefinitely. For vinegar to reach the root, you need acidity above 20%. Horticultural vinegar, not kitchen vinegar. That strength burns skin and eyes and requires proper protection. For most gardeners on a standard patio, boiling water is safer, more effective, and free. Salt. Salt is a genuine plant killer. It draws moisture out of tissue and prevents regrowth. The specific risk, salt that migrates from paving joints into adjacent lawn or border soil, damages plant material there and reduces soil health for months. Use it only where the paving is completely isolated from any growing area. Physical removal. A patio knife or stiff wire brush along the joints removes not just the visible weed, but the accumulated debris the weed is growing in. Remove the growing medium, not just the plant. For large areas, a flame weeder passes quickly along joints without disturbing the joint material. What is your current paving method? Boiling water, vinegar, a tool, or something else? Drop it below. Clearing the paving gets you back to zero, but zero is temporary because the seeds keep coming. The question is, what makes this the last time you do it rather than something you repeat every season? The answer is not more clearing, and it is the reason Part 3 exists. Part 3, Prevention. Up until now, this video has been about visible weeds, but here is something worth sitting with for a moment. Every weed you have ever cleared, every hour, every sore back, every bag of clippings, was treating a symptom. The cause has been sitting quietly in your soil the entire time, untouched, ready to reload the surface the moment you finished. Remember the soil seed bank from Part 1? The dormant seeds in the top few centimeters waiting for light? Here is what that means across a full season. Each time the surface is disturbed, by pulling, digging, heavy rain, anything, dormant seeds shift into positions where light can reach them. They germinate. The bank never empties. It replenishes with every seed that sets in your garden and every seed that blows in from elsewhere. Every weed you clear this season is funding next season's return. You cannot eliminate the seed bank. It is a permanent feature of any garden soil. But you can build conditions where it cannot activate. That is a completely different approach, and it is the one that ends the cycle rather than managing it. In the lawn, dense grass. Weed seeds require light to germinate. A lawn maintained at the correct cutting height, leaving grass at 7 to 10 centimeters rather than cutting it short, creates a dense canopy that shades the soil surface completely. Seeds land, find no light, do not germinate. The lawn becomes its own weed suppression system. Most lawns with persistent weed problems are cut too short. The mowing setting that feels tidy is the one handing weeds everything they need. Thin, scalped grass lets light reach the surface. Weeds exploit every gap, raise the cutting height by even a centimeter or two, and the competitive balance shifts significantly. 2 seasons of consistently higher mowing, the lawn visibly thickens. The areas where weeds previously appeared every year stay clean because the grass got there first. No product, no extra time, just a different setting on the mower. Pre-Emergent herbicide. For gardeners who want to close the gap faster, there is one more tool. Applied in early spring before weed seeds germinate, a pre-emergent creates a barrier in the top layer of soil that prevents seed germination without affecting established grass or plants. It does not kill existing weeds. It prevents the next cohort from establishing. Apply in early March. By May, when neighboring lawns are showing the first flush of annual weed seedlings, yours stays clean. Not because the seeds are not there, but because the conditions for germination no longer exist. Used consistently, it breaks the annual cycle. Available at any garden center, applied with a standard spreader. On the paving, seal the joints. Once the paving is clean, fill the joints completely with polymeric sand. Brush it into every gap until fully packed. Wet it to activate, it binds into a firm, dense seal. Seeds landing in sealed joints have no soil to root into. They desiccate and do not establish. Inspect the joints once a year and reapply where settling has occurred. A half-day job annually replaces hours of clearing across the rest of the season. Next spring, you will walk across the patio and realize the cracks are still clean. Not because you cleared them last month, because there is nothing for new seeds to grow in. That feeling of the job being done rather than just delayed is what the rest of this system is built around. The right approach was never about winning a battle against weeds every season. Every cleared weed, every pulled taproot, every scraped paving joint, all of it was treating the symptom. The soil seed bank was the cause, the dense grass canopy, the sealed joints, the pre-emergent barrier. Those are the conditions that make the cause irrelevant. Not a seasonal battle. A permanent shift. Clearing weeds often leaves something new behind, bare patches in the grass where large taproots came out, thin areas where weeds had taken over. Getting grass to establish quickly and thickly, closing those gaps before the next round of weed seeds lands, that is exactly what the next video covers. Subscribe to Roots and Garden, practical garden management every week. The kind that explains why something works, not just what to do. Which approach from this video are you trying first? Drop it in the comments.